Sounds like a fancy VST. It's actually a Xpand 2 by Air Instruments, and I just think it's a great deal. I mean, I used to think I undervalued it because it was so cheap, but if you've been watching my latest videos, I've been getting pretty good with sound design and keyboarding and all that. So revisiting this one is nice. I made this beat I think last night or the night before, and it's super simple. It's a Rompler, and you have categories like you would have in a sound module or a keyboard, like a phantom or a motif or whatever. You're gonna have, electric pianos, guitars, acoustic pianos, bass guitars, flutes, strings, trumpets, some synthesizer stuff, and all that is in here. And there's 4 parts, and you could layer them. And I think you could also, you could definitely choose MIDI channels, so you could do four tracks on their own tracks, 4 sounds on their own tracks, sorry, or 4 sounds layered on one track. And then you have knobs up here, they're called smart knobs. Excuse me, you have a drop down menu of all kinds of effects here, basically A and B, 1 and 2. And you just hit the power button to turn them on, and then you would just dial them in with these knobs where it says FX1, FX2. And you got your levels and your pans and some other stuff here. It's super basic, but it has good quality sounds. Everything together. And that's that. Half of this video is showing that Xpand is capable and it's affordable and it's a good buy. The other part of it is Romplers in general are cool. And even deeper than that, I want to go back to the beginning of the music technology. The first Rompler to ever exist, from my knowledge, is an EMU Proteus, or Proteus 1. Either way, it was just straight EMU Proteus. I don't know if that was 80s or 90s, but it was a one unit rack and had a little screen and a knob on it, as far as I know, and you would dial your sounds and your MIDI keyboard would play them. Then they had the Proteus 2000, the Proteus 2500, the MoFat, the Orbit, the Lead, all kinds of EMU products, and then Roland came behind them with the JV 1080 and the XV 5880, 3080, 2020, 5050, Phantom. There's been like 5 Phantoms, and the Motif, the original Motif, the Motif ES, the Motif XS, the Motif XF, the Triton Studio, the Triton Extreme, the M3, the M50, the Oasis, the Kronos, on and on and on. It all started from that EMU module, and you would have your categories: brass, bass, guitars, Rhodes, electric pianos, clavionettes, synthesizers, strings, trombones. That initial product spawned so many other products, and in the last 10-20 years computer production has taken off, and we have things like Sample Tank. We're at version 4 now, Sample Tank 4, Nexus 4. They've digitized Tritons. There's a Triton VST, there's a Roland XV5080 VST. I like Sample Tank a lot. Analog Lab comes to mind. I'm missing some major ones, I know it. They're just eluding me at the moment. But from that one invention, the Humble Sound Module in 1980 whatever, spawned so many keyboards, so many modules, and VSTs. And I just wanted to drive that home because I think like I've been around for a while anyways, and I'm always gawking at things I can't afford. It's like a kid looking at Ferraris when I'm looking on, Guitar Center or Sweetwater or Long and McQuaid or whatever. I'm just looking at these things that are just out of the reach of, and the average musician. People have families. They might not have a high end job. A lot of musicians are low income people, straight up. So to have the software is great, but I think the point I'm trying to drive here is like I'm noticing they just repackaged this concept in fancy freaking packages, and I'm not saying they're not worth it or anything. I'm not trying to justify it. Of course, I'm not going to say diss it because I can't afford it. Like, no, it's probably freaking awesome. I just can't afford it. But the point is, it is a repackaging for about 30 years. Yeah, 30 years of repackaging this idea, and it is eye candy at the end of the day, because it just is. These are tools at the end of the day, like a hammer or a screwdriver. They have a function. These keys, this is universal. This is on every keyboard. White and black keys. 12 notes per octave. Whatever. I don't know if it's the way the brain works, if it's psychology, if I'm flawed, or if it's common to man. Yeah, the idea of them is over 30 years old, and they just everyone has their take on it, and they just repackage and repurpose. I think even the latest brand new Phantom O that just came out like in the last month is you read the description and they're like, oh, it features sounds from the XV5080. The XV5080 came out in the year 2000. So 22 years later, they're repackaging those sounds in a fancy package. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some value in it. All right, peace.